Welcome back to the Duff Pickem AllStars. Above me is Icehouse. Upper left is the Commish. To the left is Skinnnns. I am the Orange Peanut. We are here to talk to you about stats of Pick'em, fantasy football, relevant things. We're short of Groady Gloater right now. If anyone has seen Groady Gloater, please make sure to tell him to join the podcast at some point, as he is also one of us that's here. We what the hell happened last week? Like, what on earth, Skinnnns? What is something that you thought was interesting or not interesting or something last week? Something that surprised you? Some good news.
I thought it was really interesting. I started 3-0, and then I lost the next 9, and I didn't even check Monday and Sunday night. But I was gonna change some picks late in the week, and all the ones I were gonna change were ones that would have made me gone from super bad to just poo poo. So,
That kind of.
yeah, I was very proud of my Carolina pick. Waking up halfway through that game Sunday morning. Felt good about my New England pick. You know, all those picks won outright. And then it's just a sea of red looking down my my chart here. And yeah, I wanted to switch Houston to Detroit. Detroit to Houston, and then I was going to switch the Arizona and the Jets. Why I picked the Jets, I don't know. It was only a $5,
That's
but
right there.
Those were some late ones I was going to pick. There was one other. I think that one. Yeah, it was Tampa. Yeah, that one was a 6. So I don't know where that would have put me, but it was some good games. Detroit made me some money, even though I picked them wrong on this one. Once they went down big, I put a couple chunks of change on them winning. I think they were getting 8.5 points at the time, something like that. And I thought that sounded like a fairly safe bet. And then Goff threw another interception right after I put that bet in. So I thought,
Goff,
okay, there we
man,
go.
oh my God.
Well, there goes that.
Been feeling great right after you put money down.
Yeah, so that's how my week 1 was in this show. So, and that's or week 10 was, that's how that went.
Feel you on that.
Not many takeaways I think I can give.
Yeah. Takeaway is you may want to slap your past self if you ever get Doc Brown's time machine. Commish, any games last week surprise you, interest you?
Yeah, I think the only game that really kind of surprised me, I guess, would be Atlanta losing to New Orleans.
Yeah.
I think that one just sort of really came out of nowhere. And I think, I don't know about you, Stan, but I think the only reason I had picked the Jets is because I figured that defense would be more than enough to be capable of handling the Arizona offense, which isn't that good. So evidently, New York is a dumpster fire on both sides of the ball.
That was one of the reasons. And from what I saw, those guys have quit. They're done. They quit. Like, they wouldn't have quit under Robert Salah like that, but they quit now. They've had enough.
Easily.
I was listening to some New York guys, and Salah's got some good motivational stuff. He keeps the defenses in it, but I think once he's gone, he wasn't a strong coach, but he was able to keep them in it, and they're done. And now they have Hassan Reddick signed to that.
Syphilis. Check 1, 2, syphilis.
Ah, there he is. We found him. Syphilis. Female. Syphilis. Yeah. What about you, Icehouse? As Groady is coming on in here. What did any game surprise you over the weekend?
Oh, it's just a Detroit game. What a mess that was.
That was an amazing mess.
I don't think anyone saw it going down that way.
No. Vegas was all.
That was the only one that it was just like, what the fuck?
I was hoping for overtime in that game.
Yeah, right?
Just so that way Detroit would have a chance to score a touchdown.
Oh, any other games, Groady, that surprised you over the weekend?
I mean, not to say obviously, but I mean, I wasn't shocked at the way the Bears game went. So.
Oh my God, that was so hard to listen to on the way home. Every other freaking mile marker, I'm just like, do something, Chicago, please make this drive enjoyable in some way. Ugh.
If I had been able to get my computer working last week, I would have came in and said until the Bears 3 offensive linemen come back and are healthy. I was like, I have no inkling to pick them in any game, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same this week. They're gonna have a mismatch put together offensive line. So
yeah, could it be something? Yeah, that was a hard one for me to listen to. So I was driving home from Chicago roughly around noon to Cleveland, and the Bears game, I listened to the entire thing. There really was not much to listen to, whatnot with it. Then I listened to the NFL's radio app for the Arizona game. I love listening to Ron Wolfley. As dumpstery a fire as the Jets were, man, if those of you who have not listened, Ron Wolfley sounds like Macho Man Randy Savage announcing for a color commentator. And I've got several recordings I need to show to the rest of the DPA here, because let me tell you, every time there was like some major like Kyler Murray, spin the pigskin, drop it in the bucket. I'm like, oh, that's really what he sounds like too. For that. So that game was fun to listen to, but the one that really I thought was great, and the game that really did make the week, was the Cincinnati Bengals Baltimore game. That was a great fourth quarter. It was a great game overall. It was a great fourth quarter. I think the Bengals did right trying to go for the 2-point conversion. Just because it's at the end of the game, take a chance. Why not? Why chance it to a coin flip? Chance it to skills. So it just didn't go their way. I think it easily could have. I like this. I like the decision. It just didn't go the Bengals' way. So, but that was last week. What about our pick'ems last week, Commish? How well or poorly did we do?
Well, we did pretty good, I think. Short week, only 14 games. Tommy led the week with 76 points, followed by me with 55, Eric with 55, Boss with 50, Groady with 43, Skinnnns with 38, and bringing up dead last was you, Orange Peanut, with 27.
Wow.
Skinnnns and I were making comments earlier about how terrible our picks are. Clearly, Skinnnns still gets lucky picking Miami.
With getting last place, he regains last place in the overall standings. Also.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second here.
Please.
What you call it?
I got excited that it wasn't me anymore.
I was going to say, as far as picks go, I don't know what Eric had for Sunday night's game, but we all got Detroit wrong. Eric got the entire pick wrong, as in the app, you could see he put 11 points on the game, but he picked neither Houston nor Detroit. Makes no sense. Eric was the only one who guessed New Orleans correctly. Stan was the only one who got Indianapolis, and he was wrong. Buffalo was the correct pick. Where else in here? A couple of twos around where Eric and JV were the only two that selected Baltimore, and they were wrong. Eric and Stan were the only ones who selected Kansas City, and they were wrong. Boss and Stan were the only ones that selected San Francisco, and they were wrong. Kevin and Stan were the only two that had Tennessee, and they were wrong. Myself and Kevin were the only two who had Dallas, and we were wrong. That's the way it goes sometimes. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 underdogs and 5 favorites this week.
That's faith in Cooper Rush.
That faith in Rush.
Well, I mean, he was 5-1 against the spread prior to the start of that game.
That's why I picked them.
Yeah.
On the season, Eric is at 716 points, followed way behind by Groady at 658, me with 652, Tommy with 637, Stan with 611, Boss with 588, and JV, as Boss alluded to, bringing up the rear with 572 points.
Oh God, awful for that Miles Jack. How could you not come through for me?
Because he's not playing anymore.
Yeah, right. Skins.
Yeah.
Skins. Didn't we warn you about picking Kansas City? High
Yes.
spreads. Like,
That was
I
another one I
forgot-
was going to change last minute, and I didn't. That was the
I
one
forgot I was the only one that picked Pittsburgh.
the scrappy
Everybody
team
else
that
had
could.
Washington.
Boo.
Yeah. That was another surprise for the week. But so de
We would have
facto,
still got it wrong because they would have kicked a field goal to win the game. So
right? De facto winner goes to the Commish. Raise your glasses, raise your bottles up to the Commish for winning the week. Actually, to Sippy properly, but default goes to the Commish. Commish, our Commish. You're here to talk about. Actually, I want to make sure I say it right because it made me laugh when I saw it. He said he would take Edgar Allan Poe visiting Heinz 57, which is just awesome. Baltimore versus Pittsburgh, Commish. What do you know?
Well, what do I know? I know that those two teams, I don't know that they hate each other, but they're definitely not a fan of one another. They've, since the Baltimore Ravens' inception, they've only played each other a grand total of 60 times. Pittsburgh is currently leading the series 35-25, and Pittsburgh is riding. The hell is all this ad bullshit? Get out of my way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to close that.
This could be our sponsors right now.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. Or
How many
yeah, no.
X's?
The Pittsburgh's on a 3-game winning streak and has won 4 out of the last 5. Russell Wilson, new to the Pittsburgh Steelers, previously a member of the Seattle Seahawks and briefly Denver Broncos, has a 1-2 record against the Baltimore Ravens with 722 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Lamar Jackson, who's been in that division longer, has a 2-4 record versus the Steelers. He's got 870 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions in those 6 games. Mike Tomlin in his career against the Ravens is 21-16, and John Harbaugh is 15-20 in his career against the Steelers. So slight edge to the Pittsburgh Steelers overall. On the shorts, actually, last week, what I thought was really funny was with the overseas game being between Carolina and New York, you had a stoppable force going up against a movable object in their offense and defense being terrible. This time around, This time around, it is not the case. Both they're both Baltimore is 7-3, Pittsburgh is 7-2. Baltimore has the number 1 in points scored this season on average, and points against Pittsburgh's defense is number 2. So you have a unstoppable force meeting an immovable object.
True.
Total yards per game, Baltimore is first at 440. Total yards against, Pittsburgh defense 8th. But passing yards against and this could be misleading for the Ravens. They're 32nd. They give up about 295 yards per game. But when you're winning, as often as they are, the other teams tend to pass more. Rushing yards against, you're looking at should be an interesting game for the runs, as Ravens are first against the run and Steelers are 4th, giving up 73 and 87 yards respectively. Rushing yards for the Ravens, they are first, 182 yards on average per game, and the Steelers are 8th with 138. So be interesting to see how the passing game goes for this. Time of possession, they both hold the ball more than half of the game. I don't know. This should be an interesting matchup. It's kind of a shame that it is on at the same time as the Bears. So I won't be able to flip to it and watch it while the Bears are at commercial in between giving up touchdowns to Green Bay.
Yes.
You go get him, Charlie. Go get him. As far as betting wise goes, it's kind of interesting. The moneyline bets percentage of the bets is 80-20 in favor of Baltimore for them to just outright win the game, but the money is about 2/3 Baltimore, 1/3 Pittsburgh. And as far as point spread goes, it's kind of the opposite. The percent of bets is more on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and more money is on Pittsburgh to beat the spread. So, I don't know. I like what Pittsburgh's been doing. I like what Baltimore's been doing. I don't know. I'd like to see this game as like a shootout going back and forth. I hate to say it that it would come down to a field goal, but more realistically, I think this game is going to come down to what Cincy and Baltimore came down to past weekend, a botched 2-point conversion. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh for 10.
Taking Pittsburgh for
10. Or a successful 2-point conversion. One of the two.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, either one of
And
those.
somebody's either going to win by 1 or lose by 1.
Yes. I like the way that sounds. I do. Icehouse.
This game could go either way. I'm just gonna put 2 on Pittsburgh.
2 on Pittsburgh. Follow. Groady.
I got 10 on Pittsburgh. I think their defense can keep them in the game.
10 on Pittsburgh. All right. We got Skinnnns.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh for 4.
Pittsburgh for 4.
I'm going opposite day this week.
Well, I'm going to join you in
Mostly opposite day. There's a couple I don't like, but I'm still going to do it.
I thought you were going to say it's because Russell Wilson Steele got it.
I would actually normally be joining you for Pittsburgh, but it is opposite day for me, at least for many of these teams here. I'm going to go 10 points on the core. I think Pittsburgh's defense is awesome. Although something I noted just now, Pittsburgh is arguably one of the harder stadiums to play in. In particular, after Pittsburgh University, who shares the stadium with the Steelers, plays at home, players have complained about the Steelers' ground this time of year being extremely soggy and hard to run on. I should note that Pittsburgh University will be playing against Clemson at Pittsburgh. So Hines will have 2 games played in it, one after another. So it should make the game a little bit more interesting, being that the stadium will be some form of soft or soggy, maybe, with that there.
The other thing to note is Pittsburgh is one of 2 teams that this will be their first divisional matchup of the year.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, jeez.
Oh. Icehouse didn't have time to look up a game, hence why he started off at -10 in the Around the Horn game there.
It's fucking worth it. I don't give a shit.
Groady, God, give us some good news about Chicago, as they believe they are hosting Green Bay. Oh, please, for us Bears fans, no, come give us something good. What do you know, Groady?
I know this team is a mess. The fact that obviously it's at home and they've immediately given 6.5 points to the Green Bay Packers, I think that's a little too little. They probably should have gone, by 10. I could foresee this game being, 21-0 at halftime. So, fortunately, the guy that they promoted to be the OC was the OC in the first year for Bryce Young when they went 2-15 for the Carolina Panthers. So,
He was not the offensive coordinator the whole year.
No, I know. He took over after they let go of Frank Reich. So
yeah, after like the 10th or 11th week. So let's not misconstrue facts just to be a Debbie Downer.
Whatever. I mean, I literally watched the first half of that game against the Patriots, and then I didn't watch the rest. And I don't think I'll even watch this Packers game because I don't know what it is for some reason why the Bears continue to find offensive coordinators. So like, oh wow, we have an offensive line issue. Great, let's try to do every route down the field. Everybody run 15 yards. Let's not do any shorts. Let's not do slants. Let's not do any of that. Let's just throw the ball down the field. You don't have an offensive line to do that. I will say there's definitely some things from the Patriots game that weren't probably Shane Waldron's fault when you had a couple of guys missing blocks. Like the one play that stands out to me is the pass to DJ Moore, and Keenan Allen whiffs on that block, and if he makes that block, DJ Moore is gone. So, yeah, I don't have any more faith in the Bears, especially just because their offense, until they get their offensive lineman back, it's not going to be good. I got 5 points. I'm going to throw it on Green Bay. I think a touchdown for them is easy, especially they're coming off the bye, and the Bears have been letting up, I think, over 140 rushing yards the last 3 games, and the Packers, I think it's either ranked 4th or ranked 5th rushing attack. So it's going to be easy for Josh Jacobs to just kind of have his way, and the Packers will win, and this fun rivalry will continue because the Bears just continue to lose to the Packers.
Yeah. Yep. With you on that one. Skinnnns, what are your thoughts on that?
Opposite day. I'm going 9 points on the Bears.
9 points on the Bears. Oh. He goes 9 points on the Bears. What a guy.
I had the Packers for about 4 or 5. I'm trying to invert it. But yeah, I just went through all my picks and I've pretty much inverted everything. This week I'm more underdog heavy, which will probably not help now because that's what it was last week and I lost. So now me going underdog it's going to be opposite day.
I would normally go with the Bears, even if it's a shred of hope. Actually, can we pause for a second? And can we give a small either round of applause or cheers to Torrey Taylor? Thank you for giving us the hope, punting it deep. You've had to do a whole lot of work these past few games, and thank you for doing such a marvelous job at what you do. I am so happy that we have you on the team for all the hard work that you've had to do. I would put this on the Bears normally, but it's opposite day for me too. So I'm going... Normally, I would put a nice, lucky 7 on the Bears. And instead, I'm going to drop a big, nasty deuce on Green Bay. Eat it, Packers. Commish.
Crap.
A deuce. Crap.
I got 4 points on Green Bay.
4 points on Green Bay. And Icehouse.
I got 9 points on Green Bay.
9 points on...
Until this Bears team shows something, I don't believe in it. And with that patchwork offensive line they're going to throw out there again, I don't think they're going to show something.
9 sacks. Flus. 9 sacks. Fix the line. It's like Swiss cheese over here, man. Like, for crying out loud. Like, not even joking. Who's going to make a play with 9 sacks? And those are the ones that got him. It sounded like he was running for his life at times. And it's not even just like, it's every third down. Every third down. They're blitzing. This, bruh. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. Please, and hopefully our new offensive coordinator does a thing. God, I hope. Skinnnns, you are going to talk about Washington. Looks like are they hosting Philadelphia? I believe. Yeah, no, they are going to Philadelphia to play a game. What do you know about the Eagles and the Commanders?
Oh, Commanders going into the very welcoming city of Philadelphia.
Nice.
So the battle for the NFC East comes up tonight. Both these teams are 14-3-1 against the spread.
Oh.
Eagles are 7-2. Washington is 7-3. They are both against the spread monsters, but I do have a fact that might help a little bit. All right. Hold on, let me get reset here. I didn't print my notes. I'm going off my usual stuff.
Is that where Groady went? he rebooting his computer, stopping all the downloading? I don't know.
Oh my!
Okay.
Dan's getting points
So-
for himself over here.
Eagles Eagles have won 5 in a row. They're now on the top of the division. The last 3, the Commanders have taken 2 games. Gosh darn, I'm sorry. Oh, there's the one I'm looking for. Okay, Commanders have beat the Giants, lost to the Steelers, and they play the Cowboys next after this. So it'll be 2 divisional games in a row.
Okay.
Commanders have won 3 of their last 4, and Commanders' ground game is averaging 153 yards per game. Daniels obviously leading the way. B-Rob's been out the last few weeks. The Eagles have beat the Jaguars and Cowboys in their last 2, and they will play the Rams next week. Eagles have won their last 2, and their ground game is averaging 176 yards per game. So both teams, great running game. Saquon Barkley, the Commanders rank 27th in opponent rush EPA and 25th in rush success. So the Commanders bottom of the league. Eagles top of the league in running per game. So they need to say no more with Saquon. The only good team the Commanders have beaten has been the Cardinals. Outside of that, they lost to the Ravens. They've lost to the Steelers. But I do want to say they only lost to the Ravens by 3, and they only lost to the Steelers by 1.
Also, the Ravens by 7.
Was it 7? Oh.
Yes.
They should have done a thing to make it 3.
Because they were favored by, I think, 6.5 on Yahoo.
Okay.
So the Washington was the right pick.
Yeah. Yeah, our Commanders have struggled to stop the run all season. They're 27th. It's not going to be pretty. Hopefully Brian Robinson is back. And if he is, I'm liking this to be a tough divisional game with both teams just running into each other for 60 minutes. And if that's going to happen, it should be a close score with the Eagles winning by -2. So give me 14 on the Commanders.
Oh, holy cow! What a guy! Okay, that was awesome. I think I would normally join Stan on the Commanders. I think I'm going Philadelphia. I'm gonna do Philly cheesesteak for 9 points. Commish.
Let's see. I believe I've got 8 points on Philly.
8 points on Philly cheesesteak, or the Philadelphia Eagles, rather. Icehouse.
Give me 4 points for a cheesesteak.
4 points for a cheesesteak. All right, we going cheesesteak all the way for that. Gosh, Groady, are you coming back? Oh, poor guy. Oh, okay, so I guess he's not coming back here. So we'll move on to me. The only reason I chose this game, this is the Governor's Bowl. Houston is going to Dallas for Monday Night Football fun. Texas. Or as they say, every third down in the Houston Oilers old stadium, Texas. It's like all that stadium. Like, go and listen to a Houston Texans game. And
Don't tell me what to do.
No, I won't. But at the same time, like, if you do catch it, listen, like in the background, every third down, they shout out, Texas! But luckily they're in Dallas this time, so the only thing you have to worry about is whether or not Jerry Jones will put a curtain up over whatever the hell his window is. This was the main reason I wanted to pick this game. Jerry Jones is full of useful insight. I would like to quote from brainyquote.com several quotes of Jerry Jones. Stats are for losers. they relish in them. That's a Jerry Jones quote on here. I am a monkey fan. Quote from Jerry Jones right there. We have this. When I look back on my life, I overpaid for my big success every time. And when I tried to get a bargain and get a little cheaper or get a better deal on it, I ended up usually either getting it or not happy I got it or missing it. Or missing it is a sentence, according to the newspaper.
Covers all three options.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
Getting a deal.
What a guy.
Good talk.
But
every time I walked, I either kept going or I fell.
Yeah.
It's like fantastic.
But I would like to bring up the latest of Jerry Jones's quotes on here because he was asked about, didn't you know about the sun and the windows? And to be fair, the Cowboys, you're playing at home. Shouldn't you not call plays when Cooper can't see because the sun is literally in his eyes trying to throw a touchdown? Like, shouldn't you just know that? I don't know. So the fans asked Jerry in a live press conference, well, you ever think about putting up, some curtains to help block the sun? Jerry Jones responds in an outrage over the sunlight impacting play at Cowboy Stadium. What about the sun? Well, where's the moon? Where's the moon? So that's
I remember they asked CD Lamb, I think it was, it's like, are you in favor of, putting up, some curtains over that window? And he's like, yeah. It's like, there you have it, everyone.
I mean,
Your
come on.
top player said, I can't fucking see the ball, idiot.
Fantasy footballers were talking about this, saying, wouldn't it be in the Cowboys' best interest to get some of those, remote-controlled shades that, you can use the remote to come down when the Cowboys have the ball, and when the other team has it, you use the remote to make the shades go up when the other team's got the ball. They don't talk about that in the bylaws anywhere. Anyway, there's not much else to talk about this game. This team has only met 6 times, to which Dallas owns 4 of them. I think they're about to keep owning 4 of them at home. It's just funny to see Dallas Cowboys fans as well punching their TVs because the America's team just can't seem to get it together. Other than that, though, not much to really be able to say about it. 73% are going with Houston. I would normally... Oh, God. Is it opposites day? Oh, God, it might be opposites day. Gotta go with the Cowboys. They're not going to win. No, please win. Oh, God, I can't. No, I don't want to do that. I'd like Houston to win. Actually, so does 73% of America likes Houston to win. But this last week was horrible. I got to stay committed. I'm staying committed. 12 points on Dallas. Ugh. I'll wash my hands. Be right back. Commish, can you give us some reason for this here?
No, I don't think I can give anybody a reason to vote for Dallas. Cooper Rush looked fucking terrible. And while Trey Lance came in garbage time, he also looked terrible.
Oh, God, did they ever?
There's that team, that offense needed Dak Prescott, and it is lost without it. And that's not to say that they can't get it together over the next coming weeks, but with how wonderful Houston looked against Detroit, and
Yes.
Detroit still managed to pull off the win, there's no way I could select Dallas at all. I've got 3 points. It's going Houston's way.
3 points to Houston. A much wiser decision. I wish it wasn't opposite day so I could join you here. Icehouse.
I got 10 on Houston.
10 on Houston.
I'd like to go more, but I don't know, man. Somehow dumb shit happens on Monday Night Football.
It
Just don't like
does.
it.
It really does. I mean,
If it's just like a noon game or a 3 o'clock game, I'd probably go max on Houston, but I gotta save that for something else. I don't know what yet, but
I mean, the good
I
on the
hate
season,
games. It's never what you expect.
on the season so far, Monday night favorites are against the spread are 8-5.
Okay, I mean,
that's a good.
So 8 out of 13, 61.5%.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with 10. I think I'm 10 on Houston's fine.
Can you believe it,
I'll
though?
find somewhere else to match that.
That Houston is. I kind of can't believe this. This is kind of funny. This is like. I hope this stat gets better. Houston is first in the time of possession per game, whereas the Dallas Cowboys are 32nd in dead last of the time of possession per game. So, if all things considered, Houston should have the ball about 10 minutes more about this game. They should pretty much own a whole quarter just to themselves if they were to play their cards right for this. Groady is not here. Yo, ski.
Yeah, the Cowboys are 31st rushing yards against the game. And Joe Mixon is a big reason why the Texans are able to control games. Because that man has defied age in dynasty leagues year after year. Still performing. Different team, still doing it. But they're controlling the clock. They also get Nico Collins back this week, from what I've read. So that is not going to be pretty. I don't see many reasons to pick Dallas. I guess Micah Parsons is back, but that didn't really work against the Eagles this week.
Hooray!
So I want to lean. I want to say Eagles, but this is an opposite week for me, and it's not looking pretty for me. I'm not confident with any of these picks, but I was really confident with all my picks last week, which is maybe this might help. So give me the Cowgirls for Cowgirls. Where'd you go?
Can't find them. Give me the
7.
cheerleading squad.
There they are. 7 for the Cowgirls. 15 for the cheerleading squad.
Jerry Jones, please bless us with more of your wisdom. I would like to quote Jerry Jones' other recent quote, "I drive a Lincoln Town Car." From BrainyQuote.com. Great Brainy Quote, when you need to know what Jerry Jones has quoted for the ages. Oh, boy.
They don't make these anymore, do they?
I don't think so. I imagine also that there's some, I don't know. Jerry Jones.
I guess it doesn't matter what you drive when you have a driver for you.
I wonder if they sold Jerry Jones brands drugs, if people would buy them, not even knowing what they even did. Like, if they just sold a pill with it there, pill box with it. We're going to go back up to the Commish, though, for this one here. The Commish, raise your glasses again to the Commish and Sippy Cup for winning on with the week for that one there. Commish, I'm going to talk about Let's Go Buffalo going to play against the Kansas City Chiefs in Buffalo. What do you know about this game?
Going to play in Buffalo.
Buffalo, quick that correction.
Buffalo's going to Buffalo. What a weird phenomenon. All right, so these two teams, they have a short storied history. 55 times. Buffalo's leading 29-25 with one tie. Apart from the playoffs, Buffalo holds a 3-game winning streak against Kansas City in the regular season. Josh Allen in his career is the reason why, as he's 3-1 versus the Chiefs. His one loss is obviously in the postseason. Mahomes, on the other hand, in regular season and playoffs, is 4-3 against the Bills. So, kind of edging towards Buffalo in that sense, because during the regular season, Buffalo wins. In the playoffs, when it matters, Buffalo loses to Kansas City. One of the more interesting stats is Kansas City has been nothing but a favorite all season long. This is the first time all year that they will go into a game as an underdog. And in his career, Patrick Mahomes is 11-1-1 against the spread when he is an underdog.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. 10-3 straight up. So he's got 10 wins, 3 losses, but in those 3 losses, two of them, or one of them was a win, one was a push, and one was a loss. So spread-wise, it ain't looking too good. I mean, again, I could see this game. I was actually happy it was 1.5. Now it's bumped up to 2.5. A little bit happier because gives some leeway for the possibility of, again, maybe a game coming down to like a field goal, but to win by 1, maybe 2. And given the way the season's played out with the miraculous blocked 35-yard field goal to win for Kansas City against Denver, I'm having a hard time selecting Buffalo for this game because Kansas City has just been finding ways to win. I got 11 points on Kansas City. I think I might change it depending on how the rest of my picks play out since it is a 325 game. So I'll be able to see how all of the noon games fall before I can say, okay, am I still confident in this or not? And I mean, Patrick Mahomes, the underdog stat, just sort of, I don't know, it's hard to bet against him when the numbers are that good.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything that would happen, like, outside of, like, player injury-wise? Like, is there any player that's coming back that might sway your decision more?
I don't know that there's anybody coming back.
Because Dalton Kincaid is the one that kind of makes me wonder. Like, I know he got injured in the last game for Buffalo. That's their tight end, and I know they use him. I don't know who his replacements are. Be my main concern.
Dawson Knox is very.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that would be another one of concern for that. Yeah. Icehouse, what about you? Any thoughts or concerns? What's your thoughts on Buffalo, KC?
I don't know. Kansas City plays with fire like every week. It seems like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and part of me says it's just a matter of time till they get burned. But I don't know. Joe's stat about Mahomes, it's hard to argue with that. So I'm gonna roll with KC for 8 points and I'll keep playing with fire with them.
8 points
But not double-digit points. Just
on the season so far as a favorite, Buffalo is 5-3 against the spread.
Okay, all right.
So not exactly overwhelmingly good.
No, not at all. Skinnnns, what about you? What does opposite day tell you?
Opposite day tells me that seeing the Chiefs as underdogs getting points, how can you not take that? I mean, they can't win the big ones, but they still win the big ones. But can they not win the small ones as the underdog? I know the stat says against it, so I would take the Chiefs. But now I'm going Buffalo for 11.
Oh my God, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing Buffalo for 11 as well. I would normally go for the Chiefs because that stat that you just said with Mahomes winning all those times is juicy, man. That's some A1 steak sauce. But it's opposite day, so hey, man, Skinnnns, let's buy a ticket on the Let's Go Buffalo train. Woo woo, woo woo. All right. It's time to head on up back to the top. Time for quick picks. Commish, you're up first up for quick picks. Quick picks. Detroit hosting Miles Jack. Oh my, look at that spread.
Yeah. I got 1 point on this, and I'm throwing it Detroit's way.
1 point on Detroit.
I think if Jared Goff can throw 5 interceptions and they can win a game, Jacksonville doesn't stand a chance in hell.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Icehouse.
It's at Detroit too. I mean, you gotta.
Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 11 points on Detroit. I think it's like they're gonna be like, we're at home. Fuck last game. Let's go get them.
Fair.
It's got that Dan Campbell spirit. He's like, I don't give a shit.
Does anyone else
do
think
whatever we want to do anyway?
Does anyone else think that Dan Campbell reminds you of a WCW wrestler? Am I just the only one?
Yeah.
I never watched WCW.
Or like wrestling, like any wrestling, WF or whatever.
Well, I mean, he is a former player.
I like his attitude about, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Let's go. Kind of, he's not your normal button down coach. Like, oh, I don't want to say anything that'll piss anyone off. So he's always just he's just out there. It's like, go get him, buddy.
I think the other thing too with Dan Campbell is, and somebody might call it unconventional, and I wouldn't, but he surrounded himself with a coaching staff that firmly believes in what he's teaching the players and how he wants to coach them. Because I forget what it was when they played Minnesota. Minnesota had a chance to go for a Hail Mary, and he said, "Nope, I'm blitzing." Got a free pass at Sam Darnold, sacked his ass. He didn't even have a chance to line up for wind up for a pass. Like, nope. Like, yeah, that's the blueprint right there. They're going to throw a Hail Mary? No. Blitz a guy. What are they going to do? They're not going to be down there in time.
Right. And he got it.
I mean, obviously not a Tigers fan or a Lions fan rather, but it's like, the fact they have an identity, and it's him and his players follow that, they're all behind it. It's like, that's, it's good to have a coach like that. The Bears, they do not have a coach like that.
No, our coach is like
I don't fucking know. What ask the players, what do they think? Like,
Dan Campbell.
You're in charge, dumbass.
Dan Campbell is like a hot bowl of chili with a glass of beer on the side, whereas Eberflus is like a bowl of oatmeal with a glass of milk on the side. Like, it's just not the same thing. It really just makes a good breakfast. It's good. There's two things I noted about Dan Campbell that I really like. One are his locker room speeches, especially for the game ball. Man, does he get into it and everything like that. But two is just like his team is having fun. It reminds me in a lot of ways of the 85 Bears, where the team is just going out there and it looks like they are together, not just as a cohesive team, but someone who is, and I'm speaking very much so about the Laporta looking cute in the end zone. If that one where he sits down, he puts his hands like this on his chin and he's laying on his stomach and he's twiddling his feet up in the air, and then everyone else sits down to do it. They're doing this all the time and it looks like they're just having fun playing. I mean, it's fun to win, but it's another thing to look like you're having fun winning as a team, to where it's like, go ahead, try and get in our way. Coach says we're allowed to bite your shins. Make sure you're wearing your guards. That level of awesomeness for that. I love it. Skinnnns, back to the Detroit Jacksonville game. What says you?
Oh, Detroit, Jacksonville?
Yes.
I'm totally going Jacksonville for 3.
3 Jacksonville. I will not deviate from max points on Miles Jack this week. This will be the turnaround. It makes sense. 14 points. Max points on Miles Jack.
We should have made some notes last year when John was doing opposite day, and how many times he forgot to not go the opposite on Jacksonville, and how many times it cost his ass.
Which was a lot, as I recall.
It was a lot. It was definitely more than 50-50.
This is going to work.
Oh, I know.
Skinnnns. It's going to work somehow. I don't know how, but it's going to work. Icehouse, you've got Minnesota going down to Tennessee.
I like Minnesota here. Give me a dozen on Minnesota.
A dozen on the, what's that burger called that they serve up in Minnesota where it's got the cheese in the middle? Shoot.
Cheeseburger?
No. It's a burger that's got a big chunk of cheese in the middle of it.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Bates had. I was up there. Bates had took me to a place that had those.
It's going to be. It's killing me. Juicy Lucy.
I've never heard of something like that. It's like
Minnesota burger.
Juicy Lucy.
Juicy Lucy.
Juicy Lucy.
The Juicy
Never heard
Lucy.
of this.
Tough cheeseburger with the cheese inside of the meat instead of on top.
Yeah, it looks good. Like when you look at it, it looks good. I wish
Not
Jerry
bad.
Jones would eat a Juicy Lucy.
It doesn't look bad, but just give me a fucking cheeseburger with all the cheese all over the whole fucking thing, man.
No. If you're in Minnesota, you grab a Juicy Lucy. You make sure you.
Oh, it's
grab
like
that.
that. There was one of them little.
What happens if you eat your first bite's got no cheese then? It's all meat and bread and
There was one of those little gimmicks you would get a while back from the Home Shopping Network. It was, put all of your ingredients into the patty all at once. And then you chop it up and then it would go into this little patty former. So, I mean, you could do green onion, cheese, whatever, and you put it all in and then it makes the patty. And then I had one. It was pretty good. I don't know what happened to it, but it's not the worst invention in the world that you could find off of the Home Shopping Network.
I am going to make sure, actually, one of these weekends coming up, I think I'm going to make some Juicy Lucy's, as you have all just potentially seen on the video with that there. All right, Skinnnns, Minnesota at Tennessee.
Clearly, Minnesota's got a strong D. They lost last week, and that's that just means that they're going to bounce back and win this week.
Minnesota
Clearly
beat
against
Jacksonville.
Mason Rudolph, unless maybe Will Levis starts. But I mean, does it matter? I mean, Minnesota's got the stronger D. Everything's fine. So I'm doing 6 on Tennessee.
6 on Tennessee. I would
Minnesota beat Jacksonville 12-7. Stan.
What was that?
Minnesota won last week against Jacksonville 12-7.
Oh, I know, but they looked ugly. Is against Jacksonville is what I was getting at. It was like they just looked like trash against a trash team.
Except their kicker.
Well, that's all I'm getting at is I'm narrative based this week.
Narrative based. That's awesome. I would normally go for Minnesota, but it is also opposites day for me too. So I'm gonna drop a solid 5 on Tennessee. Commish.
I got 6 points on the 6-point spread going Minnesota's way.
Going Minnesota's way. That makes sense. Skinnnns, you get the Miami. Does Tua still have a brains hosting Las Vegas?
Well, Miami, they've lost 5 in a row, if not more. But at least the last 2 weeks. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the other side. Yeah, they finally won against the Rams by 8 points. And with Tua back, they were close in each of those 2 games. So that makes you, hey, this team's coming back. They're strong. They're going to win. They're at home. Raiders for 8.
Raiders for 8. I don't want to pick either of these teams. Can I just abstain?
No, I don't even want to put 8. I want to put a 1, but that's not opposite day.
Tua, you threw a pass that got intercepted and then tackled the guy with your head. Like,
Again?
bruh. Like, I don't get it. I abstain. I'm just not even going to vote for this one. This is a terrible game. Commish.
I got 2 points on the Raiders.
Opt out.
2 points on the Raiders. Icehouse.
I have 1 point on the Raiders. I don't like it either. This one's no thanks.
Yeah, this is a
Raiders are coming off a bye too, for whatever that matters.
Oh, is it?
It doesn't.
It's still the Raiders.
Doesn't sway me.
Yeah.
Does not sway my abstention. All right. I've got the Rams going to New England. I like the Rams. I think there's a lot of things coming together. I like Puka Nacua. But it's opposite day. Drake May? What did Drake May recently say in the press conference? He said something. He corrected a reporter who was trying to talk about him, and May said something like, "No, not me. It's us." I liked what he said with that. So that's my other reason for going 7 points on New England for this game here. Commish.
Well, the Rams couldn't beat Miami with everyone that they had, and New England, despite the record, is a better team than the record says. 7 points on New England.
7 points on England for that. Icehouse.
Yeah, I'm actually with Joe on that one. 7 points on New England. I agree with what he said. It's like they're not as bad as their record suggests, and what the Rams did, recently, it's like, hey, why not?
I like it. Skinnn's chance to be a contrarian.
Well, I was pretty solidly on the Rams, seeing they got their full boat back. So obviously I was going to pick the Dolphins, but now, or I'm sorry, the Patriots, but now that I'm going to go to the weather and let this decide. It appears we have a slight chance of rain in New England with only 9-mile-an-hour winds. So that doesn't really affect
Checking
me
weather 5 days from now, like that's gonna hold
any
up
other way.
accurately.
I only have a 2 on it. And I do like the way the spread moved 1.5 in New England's favorite. So I'm gonna keep my 2 on New England.
2 on New England.
Oh shoot! I guess I'd need to move that to the Rams then.
You would.
Yeah, because that's okay. Opposite.
But
yeah,
but that would be contrarian. Are you oppositing your contrarian?
Well, the line's moving the way I would want it to. So now I have to go. I need to hope the line moves to New England being favorites. And then I might even put a 16 on the Rams to win.
Holy cow. Be a thing. Back up to Commish. You get the Saints and Alvin Kamara hosting the Cleveland Browns. Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know about this game at all. I should restructure the way I do my points just for this week.
Just for this game.
Well, yeah, just for this game because it's 1 point. It's a pick 'em. I don't know if Jameis Winston. I don't know which Jameis Winston is going to show up to this game. I was looking earlier today at stats on this, and New Orleans, I think, is pretty high up there in interceptions. And if there's one thing I know about Jameis Winston, he likes throwing interceptions. Or he shows up as a professional quarterback, and he doesn't like throwing interceptions, and Cleveland wins this game. I don't know. I have no idea. I've got 13 points on this game. And I've got New Orleans selected because it's down in the Big Easy, but I don't know.
At New Orleans, like he is unsure of those 13 on New Orleans. Icehouse, can you give him something to give him hope on his 13 on New Orleans?
It's you and me, Joe. Let's go. 13 New Orleans.
My God, what a guy! What a guy!
It doesn't make any sense, but I mean, I don't know. It's like if they can beat the Falcons, why the fuck not?
It's possible. Anything is possible.
If it was in Cleveland, I'd absolutely go 13 the other way, regardless of normal. The 3 points would be, but what the fuck?
Awesome. I can't wait to hear this one, Skinnnns, I can't wait to hear this one. You go.
All right. Well, the Factory of Sadness is going to turn out a Factory of Happiness this week for 5 points.
Oh, for 5 points on Cleveland. All right.
And the Factory's too far away from the games being played, so it won't matter in time.
All right. So
that's true.
Seeing my hands at that
Hurricane Happiness is coming to New Orleans.
That is a Sacagawea.
Yeah.
Oh.
Heads will be New Orleans. Tails will be Cleveland. That is heads. So I'm going Cleveland for opposite day. That would be 8 points on Cleveland. Oh God, please, Browns. Jameis Winston, please. Icehouse, you get the Jets hosting Indianapolis. Oh boy.
Pass.
What
I really want to go max points to the Jets.
Oh,
just
no.
so I can, Aaron Rodgers fails me once again, I can feel even better about it. But I can't do that because nobody wants that team. Not even the people on the team want to win. So I'm just gonna take it easy and go 6 on Indy. I just can't waste any more points rooting against Aaron Rodgers. I mean, as fun as it is to watch him fail, I gotta get some fucking wins here. Or some points anyway.
I agree.
I'll take it easy. 6 on Cleveland or Indy rather.
6 on Throw Me the Whip.
Please God, get me something right.
Am I cheating on opposite day? I had this for a 10, and then I changed it to my 1 on Denver. Just because I don't want any part of the Jets.
No, that's not cheating.
But ideally,
that's
I would have had the Colts heavily favored, so I feel like I should I have the Jets heavily favored? Or do I...
What is the weather for? What does the weather forecast say?
Okay. All right. The weather for the Jets. 62 degrees, slight chance of rain, only 9-mile-an-hour wind, about the same as the other games. Not too much. You know what? I'm gonna use my one mulligan for this week.
Mulligan.
And I'm gonna put the I'm not changing the team, I'm just changing the points. I'm gonna keep the stupid Jets for 1. But I'm moving the Broncos to my 10.
The Broncos to the 10. All right, fair.
Yeah. We'll get there. There's the answer for that.
That's fair. That's a fair point there. This game is poopy. I was going to go for the Jets. I'm going to do 1 point on Indianapolis. Commish.
Yeah, I can't trust the Jets to play as a complete team, and I hope Waka Flocka gets his shit figured out. I got 9 points on Indianapolis.
9 points on Indy. I like it. I like it. Skinnnns. You have Denver hosting Hotlanta.
Clearly 10 for Denver. Bo Nix is going to show Kirk Cousins what it really takes to be a quarterback in this league.
Yes. I would have put some points on Denver, but I'm going to go Hotlanta. I like Denver's defense.
Okay.
And so I'm going to put a nice solid 6 on Hotlanta myself. Commish?
I got 12 points on this game, and it's going Denver's way.
It's going Denver's way.
Oh, yeah.
And then Icehouse?
Max points on Denver.
Max points.
Fuck them. I'm wrong. I need that.
Holy cow. Holy cow. There it is. I also just realized I have an abstention earlier, so I'm going to switch my 1 point to 4 points, so that way I don't lose quite as much, even though I think it won't matter in the end anyway. Okay, I have San Fran hosting Seattle. I think this will be an interesting game. San Fran is 73%? Oh, because it's 6.5 points. That's a lot. I like San Fran, but I kind of like Seattle. San Fran's got lots of cool people. Everyone's voting for San Fran. I normally go for them, but it's opposite day. We're going to do 3 points on Gino's Eats Pizza for 3 points Seattle. Commish.
I got 5 points in San Francisco. Christian McCaffrey's back, and he already got 1 game under his belt, and this will be number 2.
Yep, that makes sense. Icehouse.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. 5 points on San Fran because of CMC.
Skinnnns.
Yeah, I've been burned a lot. I've been a very pro Seattle bettor this year, and they've burned me a lot. I don't know what they are against the spread this year, but I'm guessing it's probably hurt me more often than not. So I want to ride San Francisco. So clearly Seattle is the play here for 12 points.
12 points for Seattle. Ooh, interesting day. Commish, with the last game of the week, you have the Los Angeles Chargers hosting the Cincinnati Joe Burrow's team.
It's interesting that I'm sure NBC tried their ass off to flex Kansas City Buffalo to the Sunday night game,
Oh, yeah.
but I guess CBS probably denied the hell out of that one. So instead, what they did was thankfully they flexed the Jets and Colts out, because you can see by your tiebreaker in the bottom there. But interesting that they would choose the Chargers and the Bengals as the game to flex to Sunday night. This is my max point game because it is a 1-point spread, so I have 14 on this. I'm taking the Chargers. It's 1 point. I think the Chargers are going to win. I saw a thing that showed Joe Burrow could throw 21 touchdowns in the game and still lose 148 to 147.
See that one there? Yes. All right, so max points on the Chargers and their elite defense as it is right now. Icehouse.
I got 3 points on the Chargers.
3 points on the Chargers for that. All right, Skinnnns.
Just for the record, Seattle is 2-6-1 against the spread this year, which goes to show you how much they fucked me. And so I'm still putting a 12 on them because now this will be the week, right?
This is personal.
But outside of that, Cincinnati. Before Joe told me that Cincinnati fact, I was all over Cincinnati. So now I'm Chargers for 13.
Oh gosh.
Or no, I'm sorry. I was over I wanted the Bengals anyway. But so yeah, I picked the Chargers because of that. Now I'm feeling even worse about that pick because of what Joe told me. So
yeah, that's gonna be a rough ride for that one.
Yeah.
Now, your advantage in that one, Skinnnns, is that Joe Burrow is flying out from the East Coast, the other side of the East Coast to the West Coast to play. There is the possibility of issues with that. I like this game for multiple reasons. One, I have Joe Burrow as a quarterback in my neighborhood league, and I've liked the points that he's been getting me lately. I like the Chargers just as a whole, as I sometimes feel sorry for that very poor fan base. By poor, I just mean there's so little Chargers fans out there. And the fact that there's so little of them that the Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium, every time the Rams play at SoFi, the fans make the stadium profit. Every time the Chargers play at SoFi, they are in the red. So it's like, oh, that's kind of sad. You don't have enough fans to cover. I like the Chargers defense, though. Harbaugh has proved that, yes, I know how to run a team. I am not going to give a lot of my plays up. I can pass, I can run, I can certainly defend. So I kind of like the Chargers in this game, but I would have liked the Bengals more. I would have gone with the Bengals as the better offense, but it's opposite day. So I'm going to be going 13 points on the Chargers. Oh, gosh.
The good news for the Chargers is Gus the Bus is back, and he got 5.5 yards per carry last week. So that is
good news. That is good news.
Yeah.
I also didn't know that about the last pick being that was the original flex game, the Indy New York game for that one. There are huge bonus points for that one, Commish. I had no idea about that.
I saw that earlier today, and I just thought to myself, like, well, unfortunately, neither team panned out, and then you couldn't get Kansas City Buffalo, so you decided Cincinnati, Los Angeles. Like, yeah, why not?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Pretty much
That should be a good game, though. Let's see LA. I'll take it.
I think that'll be the more fun game to watch. That's another good defense against a good offense. So, and to that side, Cincinnati's defense is not quite so hot, enough to stop some things. They're like middle of the pack. And the Chargers' offense is kind of middle of the pack. So you have what I think should be somewhat of a high-scoring game, at least a fun game to watch. I don't think there'd be a lot of fun watching the Jets and the Colts.
No.
No,
I don't know what
game.
What game would be more interesting to watch or less interesting to watch?
Which one? What do you think?
Less than Jets and Colts. Oof.
Jets,
Baltimore, Pittsburgh would be a fun game to watch because I
New
think
Orleans,
No, I mean what's
Cleveland.
less? The less. What is less than Jets and Colts?
New Orleans, Cleveland. Yeah, like Commish said, by a
Yeah, that one's up there.
or maybe Miami.
Yeah, that's about the only thing I can come up with. I'm like, that's the only other game that might be worse.
I mean,
Yeah.
Detroit, Jacksonville would be kind of boring because I kind of suspect that Detroit's going to run away with a portion of that game. Maybe Miami,
Yeah.
Vegas.
Fun for a little bit. I mean, Detroit's fun to watch. So it's
That's true. I take. Yeah, you're right. I take that back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, other than those two games, it's like
It's fun to think about it, but remember that Texans Patriots game 2 weeks ago. That one came down to the wire, and I think it went to overtime. But that one was actually surprisingly fun to watch, as it came down to the wire. But yeah, going into it, just looking at the matchups, you're like, yeah, what would you want? Yeah, I definitely don't want those two teams playing against each other.
No, not at all for that.
What was it? Oh, Panthers Patriots. That was the one.
Oh yeah,
And then it went to OT, and it was close. It was really good.
Yeah. Not this
that was
time.
funny.
Oh wait, almost before we go, holy cow! We got the scores. Groady with only 9 points. Icehouse with 20 points. Skinnnns 42 points. And the Commish winning the whole entire time, 69 points.
Good job,
cow! What a guy! We're gonna see how bad this jump cut looks as I cut this into the video somehow. Yeah. All right, thanks everyone. Hey, if you guys like what we're talking about, like, comment, and subscribe. I heard we have another subscriber. I still owe you a hat. That's coming to you. And folks, we will see you around on the next week. See you later. Bye-bye.
Man, I'm really collecting these hats with my alternate accounts.